Hey y'all, Justin with Kayak Catfish. Well, in today's video, gonna have some fun. Gonna mix things up again and do a combination of techniques for catfish. I'm gonna be using cut bait off the back of my kayak, and as I make my way along through this creek channel, I'm gonna be throwing artificials off the front, targeting individual fish on my Livescope. So yesterday I come out, it would have been my last video for my regular viewers, and had an awesome day. And I was fishing this same creek, and I had started way out at the entrance of it and was making my way back, and the bait in here was plentiful, man. It was stacked, and the catfish were in here on that bait. So today I come out, I thought, you know what, I started at the entrance and was working my way about halfway back in the creek channel yesterday. I thought, I'm going to come to the back of it today and make my way out. Well, I get back here, and man, there ain't nothing back here. There's no bait, there's no nothing. It's just dead back here. The bait is really thick about midway up in this channel, but the back of it here, it's got nothing. So I'm going to get my way on out there to where I see the bait starting, and then we're going to troll our way out of the creek. We'll get our cut bait on, and then we'll start working this jig down and try to get those individual fish. I'll tell you folks, when you put a jig right in a catfish's face and they thump it, it's a blast. You just hang on and enjoy the ride. So come with me today. Let's have some fun, y'all. Okay, I've made my way up in this creek about 35 feet deep. Here is a big school of shad. There was a mark or two above them there. But we're up here now at the point where the bait begins. Disregard my cheap camera tripod here with the duct tape. You know, high budget operation professional at work here, folks, but I am going to try to film my screen a little bit today, so maybe you can see that jig fall down in these individual fish's face as we move along. So anyway, let's get our cut bait put on, and then we're going to start trying to target these fish with the jig. Cut bait, we're going to use skipjack, and I'm going to use big pieces. I'm going to put a head with a portion of that meat still on, and this other bait here that's just going to be the chunk, I'm going to have that big piece right there, really palm size. And the reason for that, it's winter time. Our water temps here, well, it's 47 on that graph, 49 on the other, so probably somewhere in between there, 48ish. I typically like a smaller bait in the winter, but today, because I'm spending most of my time focusing on that jig technique, if we catch a fish on the back rods, I want it to be a good fish, one that's worthwhile. So we're going to put the big baits on and try to eliminate some of the smaller fish. We get a small fish, I want it to be on that jig. So there's the head bait on. I've got that on my stinger fly rig with a Catfish Sumo bait stalker fly a few inches under it. I'm going to drop that down. Right now the depth is 35 feet, so I'm going to have this bait down about 32 feet deep. And as we make our way on out of this creek, the depth will get deeper, obviously, and I will adjust the baits to try to keep them within 3 feet of the bottom or so. I want these cut bait pieces to be going after the fish that are either on bottom or just off bottom. Those fish that Livescope are tough. It's tough to see them. You really can't see fish that are laying on bottom with Livescope, and so this cut bait will hopefully attract them. And the jig will be for fish that are higher up in the water column. So this setup here with the chunk of bait, same deal with the stinger fly under it, Carolina rig. Get it down, I'll show you my jig, and we're going to start catching them. The jig I'm going to be using today is an Elias V swim shad. My friend Elias gave me some of these. He has his own line of baits here. He is another YouTuber that I kind of become friends with in the last couple years. He does a lot of saltwater fishing, a lot of bottom bouncing, and he gave me these baits a year or so back to try out, and I haven't done anything with them because I don't typically do that type of technique. But with the Livescope stuff, yesterday I was using a hair jig, a 1/2 ounce hair jig, and the fish were all over it, and I thought this is similar profile, similar type bait. We'll try it out, see how it does. So let's get to it, guys. Let's catch some fish. Bait's right here. There's a fish bite right there, y'all. Oh, he hit it. He hit it. He hit it. Oh, you can see him on the screen there. He hit it. Oh man, that's fun. I got him, y'all. I got him. We're getting our first fish in here on the jig. He was above a school of shad. That school of shad is 10 feet off the bottom. Oh no, I didn't either. I got him in the back. I felt him hit it. I felt him hit it, y'all, but I don't know, maybe he rolled on it or something. I got that square in the back, man. Fish, bad news, buddy. Bad news. You don't get to come on the kayak there if you don't get caught in the mouth. Man, he thumped it hard, man. Heck far. Well, I take them any way I can get them, folks. Let's try to get him in the mouth next time. Got some smaller fish out there about 30 feet in front of me. Let me just see if I can reach them. My jig's going down there. It's going to plunk one of them. I got it right on them. Let me bring it up to that one. Right here. Right here. Oh, got him. I got him. I got him. Come on up, fish. There's another one down there. He's got a friend too that didn't spook off. Yeah, that's another small. He didn't look very big on the screen, but I thought, what the heck, it's fun. He's right there. Let me just see if he'll eat this thing. And sure as the world, he did. What do you think about it, fish? You like him old jigs? He says he'll eat anything. He's like me at the Shoney's buffet. I just get a little bit of everything on there. Let's go down on those two right there. I spooked one of them. The other one, I got his attention though. He's following it. He swam off too. He's coming back for it though. He's coming back for it. It pendulum back to me. There he is. There he is. I got him. He followed it all the way back to me. I spooked his friend. His friend was the smart one of the group. This one here, he just couldn't resist it. He thought about it, and then he come back for it, and as soon as he bit it, he knew he made a mistake. Be careful, fish. We got a tripod set up now. You can't be acting that way today. You on out of here now. There you go. And this jig here, folks, I've got this tied on a straight braid. This is 30-pound braid. I've got this on one of my old bass fishing rods. This is a bionic blade from Bass Pro. I've had this thing over 20 years. I've had it since I was a teenager. This is a 3,000 size Daiwa reel, again with 30-pound braid. And you know, I just went with straight braid. The fish don't seem to mind braid versus fluoro versus mono, and the braid doesn't have any stretch, so I can get a good hook set on them. And yeah, y'all, man, that's fun when they do that. There's several small fish right here. Let me just put one in that one there's face. Okay, I see my jig. He's coming on it. He's coming on it. He's coming right up to it. Oh, he got it, man. He got it. I saw him coming. I put it right in his face. Oh, that's fun. I'm telling you, man, you want to come out and have a good time. Oh, that ain't even a cat. That's a drum. That's a drum right there. I got one of his friends in my cooler from yesterday. We'll use for bait at some point today if we end up needing it. I fished with Elias again. He makes these baits there back in the summer on Nickajack Reservoir, and he was bottom bouncing down through there and caught some big drum. I mean, he got some big ones doing that. Oh man, this thing pooped all over my hand. He doo-dooed all over me. Get out of here, you nasty fish. Oh man, I ain't into that stuff. I ain't. Some people, some perverts out there like that kind of thing. I ain't one of them. Oh, fish doo-dooed right in my hand. Nasty fish. Let's try to get these. I think that's a smaller one right there, but he's going to be swimming right up to it. That's my jig. He's coming right up on. Oh, there's a bigger one down. Should I go after the bigger one? Let me drop that jig down on the bigger one right there. Oh, I can't see him anymore. He's off the screen. Oh, he should be right there. Oh, man. Oh, he got it. He got it. I couldn't see him. I don't know if that's the same fish either. Oh man, this one ain't very big. That was a bigger mark. I had one lined up on the screen. This is definitely not the fish I was trying to get. I had one lined up on the screen he was coming for, and I saw another one come in range on the transducer below him, so I went ahead and dropped the jig down. And I lost sight of him as the kayak moved. But this guy ended up eating it. Little old thing. That was definitely not the mark I saw. That's another bite though. Again, this is a very productive way of fishing. I mean, you know, to have one rod in your hand to be able to go down through here and I'm just going in and out through here as I make my way up this creek, just kind of shining that transducer around. I see a mark, drop that jig down precisely in its face, and boom, it's on it. I mean, you just get it in their face. Again, I ain't tipping this thing with no cut bait, no live bait. I'm not putting any kind of scent on there. It's just plastic on a jig head. And you get it right in front of their face. It's an easy meal. They gobble it up, even with all that bait down there. And again, all of this right here, this hard line you kind of see here, that's the bottom. Everything above here is just shad. I mean, they are in here so thick, it's just crazy. But it's brought the cats in, and again, you give them an easy meal, they take it. I want that one right there. We're going to try to get that one. Can't see my jig. There's my jig. Okay, it just fell right in his face. Oh, he got it. I couldn't see my jig on the way down, but I saw it right as it got to him and stopped it. Oh man, I think that's a little bigger mark right there. Oh man. I'm so glad that jig come into my focus on the screen again. If it had fell another inch or two, it would have been below him. I put it right in his face. This feels like a little better one right here. I think this is going to be definitely bigger than anything I've gotten yet. Oh man, that's so awesome. This is so much fun. Oh yeah, that is a little better one right there, folks. That's a smaller fun size right there. Oh man, gobbled it up, buddy. Old Elias gonna have to remarket his baits for catfish, ain't he? Come on in, fish. Again, you got to be careful now. We got a tripod sitting there. We don't want to go overboard. This is a blast, y'all. A blast. Get that out of the way. Yeah, folks, that's a larger dink, smaller fun size, I'd call it. But a dang good time. And again, I don't even care that he's not a giant, because it's just fun. You to see your bait go down, and then you just feel bam, and then it's off to the races, buddy. I gotta get me a better rod for this. So now that I know I can kind of do this consistently, and again, it's been a work in progress, just getting lined up on these fish and dropping down and getting your bait precisely where it needs to be. Look right here. Look right here. That head bait's going down. That head bait's going down. Oh, he was hitting it. He didn't hook up. But as I was trying to say before that fish there interrupted me trying to steal the show on the cut bait, it's hard. At least it was for me in the beginning, especially. I'm getting better at it the more I do it, but seeing the fish on the screen, seeing how far out they are, and getting that bait down to them, especially if they're moving or the kayak is moving, getting everything lined up to put it in their face, that's a challenge. But when you get it in their face, they're going to eat it most of the time, even an artificial. You know, again, you know, today I'm using this plastic bait, but yesterday I was using a hair jig. A few days before that, I was using just a crappie jig, a small hair jig in it. They were eating it too. So it's very encouraging to be able to do it on artificial, but I got to get me a better rod set up. I was using this one because this is, again, the heaviest bass spinning rod that I have. I think I need something like an inshore type spinning rod, something that's made for big snook or redfish or something like that, because at some point in time I'm going to hook a 50, 60-pound catfish doing this. It's just a matter of time. I just got to see them on the screen. I think if I can see them and get a bait in front of them, I think they're going to eat it. But I need a better setup than what I got. But this is getting it done for the time being. And I'm going to have to send Elias a message. He's going to have to remarket these things as a catfish bait. There's one about 35 feet deep. Oh, my bait's looking good. It's going to go down there right on him, man. Oh, I almost hit him with it. Oh, and he come up and hit it too. Oh, man. I think I hit the daggone thing with it, and he bumped him. He wanted a bite of it, but didn't get it. Dadgummit. Got one on the head here. Does he have it, though? He wants it. Can he eat it? Oh, he's got it, man. He's got it. All right. No, he let it go. He tried. A little too big for him. And I purposely put the big baits down. That way it would kind of deter the smaller fish. He's on it again, man. I was lowering it back down. I'm like, this don't feel right. He ate it on the way back down. Let's see if we can actually get him in this time. Oh, it's a drum on the stinger fly. I was like, that don't feel right. That thing's lowering back down. And I couldn't ever feel it. There was a daggone fish on there. This is historic right here, y'all. This is historic. My buddy Dewey got me using these flies almost a year ago. And he told me I was going to catch a bunch of cats on them and stuff, right? And I was like, yeah, whatever. Well, my regular viewers, you know I have caught the heck out of cats on these flies, both blues and flatheads. Got some really nice fish on them flies this year. I thought, though, this right here was what I would catch with those flies. I thought I would get drum. I thought I would get, you know, striper, those bycatches. That's what I thought those flies would catch, and that's just not been the case. It's been all cats until that drum. That was my first bycatch on them stinger flies. So pretty, I don't know if that was what was hitting my piece of cut bait or not. It may have been a cat eating the cut bait, and when I lowered that back down, it may have just been right place, right time for that drum. Either way, it's another bite, man. I'm getting some action out here. You can't beat this February fishing, man. I've said it in so many other videos. In the winter months, totally hit or miss for me. I'm either on fish or I'm getting completely skunked. And with this whole Livescope deal, being able to drop a jig and fish his face, I ain't getting skunked. I may not catch any big fish, but I ain't getting skunked. The farther I get out in this creek, the thicker the bait is. I mean, look, from about 25 feet down to 42 feet is just shad. And I'm seeing some probably cats here kind of under them. They've got them up off the bottom just a little bit. There's, you know, a few more marks. But man, that bait is thick in there, y'all. It's just it's like every shad in this whole section of the river has come to this creek. There's another creek just downriver from here a little bit. I'm curious, is there that much bait in it too, or is it just like the back of this creek right now where there's just nothing in it? I don't know, but it's amazing that there's that much forage for them, and yet we can still get them to eat a jig or at least come up and nip on these pieces of cut bait. I haven't caught anything on the cut bait yet, but I have had dinks just pecking and chewing on it, taking bites out of it. Just too big a bait for them. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to eliminate those smaller fish on the cut bait. If I catch a small fish, I want to be on the jig because it's a lot of fun. But we do have the bigger baits down there just in case we come across a monster out here, which, you know, with this much bait here, it's possible. A couple weeks back, I fished this creek, just normal fishing, just suspending off the tip of the point out here, and got some good quality fish. So it's a possibility, just getting your bait in front of them. But man, that's a lot. Oh, look at that right there. Look at that right there. That's a bigger mark under that school. All right, y'all. I gotta quit flapping my gums here at the camera. We gotta get back to fishing. Oh, look right here. Cut bait, one on the head. We finally got one to hook up with the head bait, y'all. It's happened. And he's gone. He's gone. Well, they've chewed the bottom part of that bait up, but I'm gonna send it back down. There's still so much meat on that thing, it'll bleed for a while, especially in this cold water. I have committed the cardinal sin of fishing. I have left fish to go find more fish. I was in that other creek up there, and you saw how thick the school of shad was. I mean, it was like 150 yard stretch of that creek that was just nothing but shad. And I was getting some fish, you know, I was getting some small cats and the drum there and whatnot, but I decided to move downriver. Because once I got out to the creek mouth, there just wasn't any more bait there. There wasn't any more fish around, and I didn't want to turn and go back, although maybe I should have. But anyway, I've come downriver. I'm hitting a new creek, and I'm seeing some birds back in here, so I'm inclined to believe there are some shad. So I'm going to drop the Livescope down, take a peek, and see what we got going on in this creek. I may end up regretting it, but we're going to see what's here. Let's see if we can bust these right here. There's two of them swimming together. Okay, all right, they're gonna swim right into it. Kind of going off my screen. My jig's there. Okay, there he is. There's the first one. He's on it. His buddy's coming. Oh, I got him too. I got him. I got him. Fish number one in this second creek here. I found some bait. Yeah, it's a cat. Another old kitty cat. He was swimming along about 15 feet deep and about 37 feet of water here. Come on up here, good buddy. You little old thing. I wouldn't be happy to catch you most days, but I am today because you're fun on this jig. Give me that thing back. He's clamped down, buddy. He is clamped down. That fish wanted every second of camera time. Every second. He wasn't going to open his mouth for nothing. He ought to be ashamed of himself, holding up progress like that. Let me show you here, though, folks. I've drifted back over this school of shad. The shad in here is thick like it was up there in the other creek. It's kind of... I started back here where them birds are flying around, and there wasn't nothing there. And I got on out to about, I don't know, 32 feet or so, and I started seeing shad. And man, they're down there, the final 10 feet of water, of the water column, it's nothing but shad. And so I kept moving along. I wasn't really seeing, I can't see down into the school because it's so thick, but I wasn't seeing fish above it either. And I moved on up, and I saw those two fish, probably two cats swimming together, caught one. And now that I've come off the motor, I'm drifting back and I'm in this school again here. And again, here's a mark right here. But most of this is just shad. So I'm gonna keep making my way along here. I'm gonna try to maybe fish around this school, like try to find the edge of it and where I can see something. Because unless it's a fish, like you can, well, he's gone now. I was gonna say you could kind of see him just right, kind of swimming in that school. But I'll show you here on my 2D sonar. I've just got the map card on there now. Let me go sonar here. Like it's not 18.5 feet deep. It's just so thick with shad that it's blocking out the bottom part there of it. It's crazy how much bait. I mean, we need a shad kill. Well, that's what we need. I hate cold weather, but we need about 2 weeks straight of just frigid temperatures and kill off some of these shad. I mean, it's a smorgasbord for all the fish in here. Oh, I got lucky right there. I put it in his face. Oh, man. I got lucky. This transducer, the kayak was moving again. I lost sight of my jig, and when I saw my jig, there was a fish. Oh, man, this one got me over here. What's he in? Oh, he's in himself. I thought he'd gotten my back line or something. He was all lassoed up on it there. Yeah, that was lucky. I was still moving when I cast it, and I lost sight of my jig, and it still worked out. Get out of here, buddy. Oh, I think I missed him. Yeah, I missed. Oh, I got another one coming up though. I missed the first one. He swam off before my jig got there. This one's on it. Got him. I got him. Well, didn't get the one I was after, by gosh, but got me another one. Feels like another cat. And these blues, man, they are, at least the smaller ones anyway, are hanging out above that school of shad. Now, of course, I got my pieces of cut bait there below that school to kind of down in it, just off bottom. But the cut bait, other than having these little guys pecking and chewing at it, really hasn't had anything going on today. Man, I tell you folks, it's fun. These, I mean, they're small, they're dink size blues. Normal catfishing trip with my regular setup, I'd be irritated if I was catching them on my heavier gear and they'd just be wasting bait. But this jig fishing, man, it's a blast. Oh, I'll put it right in his face. He's swimming into it. Oh, he's turned back. Oh, I got him too. He swam past it and he turned around for it. He turned back. I watched him turn on the screen. And he gobbled it up, man. That's another blue. He's rolling. Oh, that's awesome. Man. Man, they are aggressive. Just getting it near him. I mean, he passed it up and turned on it and instantly come back and smashed it. All that bait down there. And it's just a matter of just getting it in front of the dang things. All right, guys, so I think what I'm going to do is wrap up the video. I've caught enough fish now that it's probably going to take me a long time to edit, especially since I've added in this camera with the duct tape tripod there and trying to film the screen. I don't know how that's going to turn out. I don't know what it's going to look like. We'll see. This may be a one-time and done with that setup, but we'll see how it goes. But I got about an hour and a half of daylight left. Now I think what I'm going to do is just put the camera up, reel in my cut bait. That hasn't done anything for us today. I mean, and I wasn't real optimistic about it. Again, I put on the big baits to try to eliminate the small fish from pestering us. That way I could focus on getting this jigging technique down, and I'm getting more confident with it with every cast. I mean, I've caught several fish today and casted and missed a bunch more, but I'm getting a lot more confident with it. And so what I'm going to work on off camera here for the next hour or so that I've got left to fish is just moving quicker. Just trying to, right now I'm still going slow, coming up on fish, trying to get the kayak stopped and then dropping the bait down. And I want to practice it kind of zipping along, looking for fish and getting the bait in front of their face. And if I can get that down, then I'll be able to cover a lot more water and hopefully be able to search more, you know, for larger fish as I get better at this. But you know, I'm sure today there's been a lot of bigger fish that maybe I've went over and just couldn't see because of all the dang shad on there, man. When it's that thick, it's just camouflage for anything that's down in there. So anyway, I've enjoyed it. I've had a dang good time. I hope you all are enjoying. Again, this kind of thing it's new to me. A lot of people are doing this for crappie and bass. I'm trying to incorporate it into catfishing. So we'll see how it goes. I'm getting more optimistic by the day though. So anyway, y'all, I'll see you again soon. Thank you for watching.